Hey guys, something I got to get off my chest. I keep hearing this narrative, this story that the coronavirus is God's judgment upon the world, or that it's the end of the world. Why is it that anytime anything bad happens, God is blamed for it? I mean, seriously. First of all, let's just talk about this. First of all, who's he punishing? When you look at who the coronavirus affects most, it's the elderly and people who are already ill. So if God is punishing the world, he is punishing the elderly and the sick people. They must have done something bad to make him angry. That don't make a lot of sense. No, Josh, it's an economic punishment. Once again, who is God punishing economically? The hourly folks who are now laid off and didn't have a lot of savings built up, the poor people who are struggling to make ends meet right now. Is that who he's punishing? To be quite frank with you, a lot of my friends who have money saved up and put away and who are wealthy, even though they are unemployed right now, they're making some decent money in the stock market. They're buying stocks for a dime on the dollar. So please tell me once again, who is God punishing? And next question, why is he punishing the world? Now, I'm sure whoever makes the statement that God is punishing the world with the coronavirus, I can almost guarantee you that they are not a part of the group that's being punished, and they are not guilty of whatever God is punishing us over, without fail. And regarding the end of the world, why is it that whenever third world countries have diseases go through them and lots of people die? I think over 400,000 people died of malaria related illness in 2019. But that's just normal stuff, though, right? But whenever Westerners get sick, whenever Americans start dying, then it's the end of the world. We are out of toilet paper. It's the end of the world. Let's change the story, guys. Let's change the story. Jesus, Luke 13, a tower fell. Freak accident. A tower fell and 18 souls perished. 18 people woke up that morning, had their breakfast, were for all practical purposes healthy, and a tower fell, and now they're dead. So Jesus says, hey, why did this happen? Was it because they were sinners? Was it God's judgment upon them? Is that why this happened? And he's like, no. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and towers fall. You woke up expecting to, go home and have dinner with your wife, your families, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes freak accidents happen. It's not because they were sinners. It just happens. And then he turns the story around and he says, for anybody who's self-righteous, maybe you should take a look in the mirror before you start suggesting that other people are being punished for their own sins. Guys, John 3:17 teaches us that God sent Jesus into the world, not to condemn the world, not to judge the world, but to save the world through Jesus. Jesus is our hope. We have our hope in Jesus. We have our hope in God. Right now, there are some excellent Christian organizations doing some excellent things to help with the coronavirus. Right now, Samaritan's Purse is setting up some kind of a field hospital in Central Park to help them there. Stories and stories go on like this. Why is it that when things like this happen, we blame God? Shouldn't we instead find our hope in God during these times? Why isn't God getting the credit for the good things he is doing right now in the world? Why isn't he getting credit for what the Samaritan's Purse is doing? I think the real story here, guys, is that God is our hope now and forever. So let's stop with the coronavirus as God's judgment upon the world. The coronavirus as God's punishment on the world. That the locusts that are eating up the crops in Africa is God's judgment upon them. That the fires in Australia are God's judgment upon the world. He's punishing us. Let's stop with that. Instead, let's find our hope in God.